What's the most annoying part of sex that no one ever talks about? That tiny hair you caught on her tongue but can't seem to find with her fingers when trying to get it off. Getting the pants past the feet. Cum dripping out of your vagina. Instead of staying in bed and enjoying the moment, you have to go to the bathroom and let it all out. You won't get everything out anyway, and at some point it's just there. Wets your underwear and there is nothing you can do about it. Makes me miss condoms. I didn't realize how long it seems to feel when the guy is putting on a condom and you are just waiting with your legs spread apart. Airing the girl. From the woman's perspective, when the pressure that feels good also makes you feel like you need to pee, so you tense up and lose the feeling. Trying to shove the investigating cat off the bed without ruining the rhythm. 2 words. Lockjaw. If I'm taking a break, I'm taking a break for both our sakes. That fart sound that your chests make when you are both sweaty and make a vacuum. If you eat a lot before and your stomach hurts while you're in the middle of it, preventing you from feeling good about yourself and thus preventing your orgasm. Making contact with an IUD in the middle of a thrust will catch you by surprise. When he pulls out and shoves back and then pulls out again and you release all the air he just shoved into you. Honestly, I would say sleeping conditions if not at your own place. Especially if it's a new or awkward relationship and you're eggshelling. Stuck in one position for hours. Holding in a fart. Hungry. Need to pee. Etc. Make an effort to ensure your own comfort beforehand. Your pillow. Your earplugs. Wipes. Cleaning afterwards. The old bow-legged hobble to the bathroom to evacuate the ejaculate. When the dick slips out. The old bend your dick in half while stabbing her in the taint. Yeah, that's a big loss for both teams. Sleeping in the wet spot. The vag cup duck walk to the toilet while trying not to drip on the floor afterwards. Why don't you just sit on the ground and then drag yourself to leave a trail like a snail? Sometimes you focus so hard on not coming too fast that you turn into a superhuman incapable of an orgasm without serious focus. When you somehow have her finish first. And now she is rushing you to get done. Because she is now sore. Edit for context. It looks like a lot of you think this is me and my GF. We haven't been dating in almost a year at this point. It's funny too because I was too wide for her and she was too small. But we had the most difficult time having sex. We tried lube and such. But even then she could never finish. Then after we played around for a few months, we discovered her sweet spots. Then this problem started to happen. So, you could say I am better being all touchy feely instead of poundy smashy. When you have both been going so long that orgasming becomes too hard, so you both give up on the endeavor. The sex can be great. But once you hit that point you can end up feeling a little defeated. Changing positions when you're really getting into it. It sometimes breaks the mood. The sweatiness of really long exhausting sex without AC. Edit. A lot of people are saying that's their favorite. While some sweat is good fine. Too much leads to dripping on partner and wet sheets to sleep on and or sliding off dick sliding out. And dehydration and cramps. As someone who gets sweaty after a while. A nice cool room and cool sheets is what I prefer. We'll keep each other warm. When he's hitting it just right and you're very obviously into it, so he f-king turns into a jackhammer, completely ruining the perfect pace. Depth. Angle. Roughness. Etc. Even worse when you literally say, just like that. And then he proceeds to change what he was doing. Like. No. I said just. Like. That. If you go harder. It's not just like that anymore. Is it? Where in your mouth and eyes. Hip cramps. Dick slipping out. When I think my period is over and then the dick suctions out the last bit of goop. Cleaning cum out of your belly button is incredibly hard. Edit okay. Yeah, I take showers. I know how to clean. Yes, I have a very deep belly button with crevices. Thanks for the advice. Next time I'm lucky I'll have a cold Q-tip on hand. Edit. Thank you for silver kind stranger. I call it the gene pool. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes and accolades. Reddit enjoyed this way more than my wife does. Kids. When they try and interrupt or because they're a result of sex. That post-nut clarity of realizing you just had sex with someone you shouldn't have. Having to come up with a reason to leave without making them feel bad about it. I've got to return some videotapes. UTIs. They are super common for women if they don't pee right after sex. The rubber smell. If you are smelling burning rubber, slow down. The 22 years before you have it. And the 6 years. 7 months. 14 days before you have it again. Attaching your penis. When your vibrator died right before you orgasm. The awkward moments when sometimes the clothes just don't wanna come off. Like sometimes the pants are just too tight and you have to do those weird maneuvers from the position you're in to get them off. It can completely ruin the vibes. I've never understood this. The awkward clamoring to get clothes off certainly makes me feel like I'm not portraying the sex goddess I want to be in my head. But I can't imagine any person being like, yeah. Sorry, but the way you're leaning over to get your pants off really killed it for me. How awkward shower sex actually is instead of the SI fantasy of it that most have. Nearly passed out from eating out a girl in the shower once. She was really tall. So I just got on my knees and went to town. Turns out that all the water running down her body basically waterboards you. I finished the job. But it was traumatizing. That sometimes it's not just be horny. If you worked a 10-hour shift and just came home. You just want to sleep. Not FCK. SX requires time. Mood and energy. One of them alone can't do nothing. Two of them can give you a SX. SX farts. Mysterious liquids staining the sheets clothes. Some blowjobs can be very messy. Having to do an enema before doing an L. Trust me on this one. And no communication from either party on what to not to do. Bonus point. Guys. Trim and file thy fingernails. Hope that she gets her period next month. No one else. Seriously? Just me. Everyone in Starbucks telling you to stop. Cramps? You need to stretch before foreplay. If you stretch after foreplay or mid-humpies, you risk losing a boner due to shifting blood flows. Tip. Do hip flexor stretches. And shoulder stretches. Hips will cramp and cause pain. Not honestly knowing what you're supposed to do half the time. Raccoons. Trying to please your partner while simultaneously getting your own. My orgasm comes when I've mentally checked out focusing on nothing but what I'm feeling while my girl needs to see my face and hear me make noise for hers. So it's a constant battle between trying to find the midpoint of the day. Not having it. Having to untie shoes and take your pants off when things are hot and heavy. It's like the scenes in action movies where the hero is out and about wrecking shop. Then has to take an elevator to a different floor to fight some more people. The queefs. The annoying part is people rarely share their tricks. For instance, a friend once told me he had a one-night stand. Went out, had drinks. Did a lot of drugs. Went back to her place to FCK. When he woke up he realized he shit himself. Girl was still passed out. So he scooped his own shit and without disturbing her, he rubbed it on her ass and between her cheeks. He got up and left. What the FCK did I just read? One thing rarely, if ever, discussed during the act. Hands and lips and everything seemingly can go anywhere. Everywhere. Bite this. Lick that. Touch this. All good. And then, when it's over, suddenly it's magically off limits and a person has, understandable, personal space again. It's strange when and how that happens. You know how there's whiskey dick when you're too drunk to get hard? What happens to me sometimes instead is that I can get it up. But it is incredibly hard for me to come. It's nice at first because you can last longer. But then it gets annoying because all you want to do is finish. I've had to pretend before because if not it can awkward to explain, and I've had a girl get mad at me and leave because she thought I was lying and it was because of her. I take an antidepressant with 2 side effects. 1. It makes me feel normal so I can be a good partner in a relationship. 2. It makes it really hard to orgasm. These 2 things do not go together well. When it comes to gay sex, the preparation. I mean, we talk about it to each other a lot. But the straight solo don't get as much education about it. So put your learning caps on, kids. When an LSX is the main dish, you have to make sure you eat well, less grease, more fiber, or else you're constantly douching your sacred PSR gem, which is still recommended if you know you're going to have sex soon. You always have to have lube. Some people need poppers, mild inhalants that loosen your sphincter. It's a whole ordeal. The towel between the legs waddle to clean up. Dudes like the top comment that need to just f***ing go for it already. Banging away for 45 minutes is boring as hell. Don't make me wish I'd brought a magazine. Get your partner off. Then do your 2-minute grunt fest. Don't drag it out. Waiting for them to calculate your change. Sleeping on the wet spot. If it's a hookup, finding out their dos and don'ts can be kinda awkward, annoying in the heat of the moment. I'm not trying to be a dick here. But how do you motherfuckers not just keep a box of tissues or a roll of TP within arm's reach of your bed? I mean, damn. Even if you aren't getting any, don't you ever have to blow your nose, or are you doing that all over your sheets too like some kind of goddamn animal? That they keep forgetting your name isn't help. The kids were watching. Better than participating. The 45 minutes of begging. Sweating so hard you need a towel on hand. All the most obvious places to have kinky sex are also the worst. Hot tubs, pools, shower. All come with horribly awkward friction. Beach, picnic, woods. All come with sand or dirt or no nice place to get comfortable. Developing feelings for your casual hookup without them being reciprocated. When she won't sing Lonely Island with you. What a f***ing workout it is. Watch these P-run stars go for 60+ minutes and they barely even look winded. Then I got for like 10 and I'm f***ing dead, and I'm not in bad shape. Worst part is I need a very specific rhythm and intensity to actually get off. And sometimes I don't have the stamina to keep it up long enough. Nothing is more frustrating than feel like you're right before the point of no return. Only to have your body literally give out. When you have to hide in the closet when a man comes home for lunch. When you're jerking off staring into the mirror but your reflection keeps finishing before you do. When she wants to cuddle after but you are a post-coital touch me not. I'm burning up and trying to breathe. Give me a couple of minutes. This guy tried to spoon me straight after and I told him he was literally just inside me. Please give me some space. The cleanup. What to do with used condoms? Staple them to your bedroom wall obviously. Boil and reuse. I use them as Tupperware. Save them to impregnate the aliens from Area 51. When you put on a full face of makeup to seduce your partner but then you're anxious about it smearing all over the f***ing sheets while you're getting blowed. So much talk of cleaning up after a guy comes inside of you. I'm absolutely terrified of pregnancy, so I never let this happen. Now I'm starting to think I'm the weird one. Do all of you want kids? Are you sterilized? Really great birth control? Living life on the edge? Everything related to an L sucks. But I guess people talk about that. Maneuvering to surround my dong. Hearing about all the SX redditors apparently have while not being able to relate because you lack the interpersonal connections that make SX possible desirable. Shower SX really isn't that great. How long it takes to finish her off when going down on her. The other way around as well. I have always told guys not to bother getting me to come from oral. It takes too long and is complicated, and after a while I get bored. Don't get me wrong. I love receiving. But it's not something I need to orgasm from. It's a really enjoyable warm up. Smells. Ass. Sweat. Feet. All mixed into one. Those smells can be so hot though. May sound gross. But it's natural. Returning the clown costumes. When guys suck at it completely. Like no foreplay. Think going as fast and hard as possible from the beginning is how you're supposed to do it. And then there's the two pump chumps. Especially if you tell them how to improve and they don't listen cause they've never had complaints before. Yeah, probably cause they were too shy to say or were into rough dry SX. But not everyone is. Getting your partner to sign the non-disclosure agreement. For me it's looking human. I don't have an O face. Just the same unamused default look everyone has on their face. I'm also quiet. I'd f*** how to act like a basic human. 4 annoyances come to mind. All semen related. So evacuating the jizz from your asshole afterward. It's like a really undignified wet fart and it feels weird every time. Also getting cleaned up. Putting on new underwear. And having leftover cum drip out of your PSSY and ruin your freshness. Also having to clean jizz out of your nose if the cum shot hits at the wrong angle. Everything smells like penis for an hour or so when that happens. So for male ejaculation. Squirting feels great but it's annoying as hell because it's a lot of cleanup. I often stop myself from squirting to avoid having to do laundry, shower, and make the bed. Haha yes. 1. Foreplay. I have some medical issues so I run tight and dry. Takes a little while to get me warmed up and then a little while to get me lubed up. My husband is wonderful and patient. But there's some days where I don't want the trouble and just want to get straight to the action. 2. Cleanup. I'm prone to UTIs so I have to pee immediately after and can never just lay in bed and cuddle. I also have to shower and get all the lube off of me pretty quickly. And we use silicone. So cleanup is a bitch. Husband likes me to rub his thighs after SX. So I'll usually pee. Wipe up as best as I can. Come back and sit in bed with him for 10 minutes or so. And then we'll hop in the shower tub together. Both of these combined make quickies nigh unto impossible for us. Ugh. Inflating deflating the blow up doll. When you're close to orgasm and the finger slips off your clitoris. I'm obviously late to the party. But this. Very often. SX is so much more spectacular in your head compared to SX IRL. I'm not saying SX IRL is bad. Just saying the mind has its own ideas that sometimes don't work out in practice. Semicolon. Semicolon. Also. Getting my wife to agree to it. Sometimes you just aren't long enough to make a position work. Here's another one. When you get cum in your eyes. But you said you wanted to see the kids. Grandma. Edit. Damn. My first Reddit metal of any kind for a comment about a family meeting. Thank you kind stranger. I guess. The cost. Asking if she takes credit.